What's up, everybody? This is Gary Owen. Get some.
Floyd Mayweather, thanks for coming out to the show. Motherfucker brought fucking 30 people. I don't even know 30 people. Fuck. You must have a hard time getting to go out to your house. All right, Terry, Johnny, Billy, James, fuck Chris, Chad, Joey, Jerry. Fuck, get in the car. We're gonna be late. You make 24/7 though. That's just boring when you ain't on it. I ain't gonna lie, that shit's terrible. Every time Floyd comes on, I'm tuned in, DVRing and TiVoing. I make sure I ain't missing that shit. Can't. I love your uncle, man. I don't know what the fuck he be talking about though, man. I don't know how the fuck you be in the corner, man. Hey, what should I do? Okay. The fuck did he just say?
Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Gary Owen with the Get Some podcast. You can listen to this on iTunes. Just go to iTunes, search Gary Owen, hashtag Get Some, or search United We Cast. You can also listen on YouTube, youtube.com/Gary Owen Com. I went to New York and I did this show called The Breakfast Club. Before I got there, I saw this rapper called Takashi 6ix9ine, and I saw he was talking a lot of smack and going back and forth to Charlemagne. And so I looked him up, looked up his story. I kind of dug him a little bit. I ain't even going to lie, because what he said at the end was, they said, "What are you about? What's your story?" He goes, "I'm about standing up to bullies." And what he means by that is he's gone to Houston, he's gone to LA. And these are cities that if you're gang affiliated, so-called, you have to check in. Now, I don't know what that means. I'm not in a gang. But he's like, "Nah, I ain't checking in." And they called him on how he used to be a Crip, but now he's a Blood. And he was like, "Look, I've never been up under anybody. So I guess when you're a Crip or a Blood, you might be up under a certain segment of whatever area you live in. Like if you're in LA, if you're on Watts, you're with the Bloods and Watts. There's clearly going to be a leader. Every gang has a leader." And he was like, "I was never up under anybody." He goes, "I just have friends." Basically, he was like, "I had friends that were Crips and I hung out with them. And now I got a lot of friends that are Bloods. I hang out with them. And so now I'm with the Bloods. Those are my homeboys." And I was like, I don't know. I don't know enough about gang culture to give is he right or wrong? But I kind of liked his interview, and I think he's only 21. And I think if he can figure it out, I always say you just got to make it to 25. If you make it to 25 years old, then things starts to make sense and you don't make as many irrational decisions as you do. It's the same reason the military goes to high schools and tries to recruit high school kids, because they know they can kind of mind fuck them a little bit. And those are the ones that'll be on the front lines and this is all about country and we're part of a team. And it's because the military, they use the same approach as gangs do. Is the gangs find guys that, broken homes, not a lot of money, and they create a family atmosphere for them. And then they get them to do stuff that might be against the law, might not. I don't know. Military is the same way. That's how they got me. You don't see military recruiters coming into private Catholic schools or these private Christian schools that much. You might see the military academies be there, the Naval Academy, the Army, the Air Force Academy, West Point. But you don't just see like a Navy recruiter at a big Catholic all-boys school trying to get boys to join, because they know they're going to go to college and they know they're probably from well-to-do families. The military recruiters, they hit up the public schools and not as much inner city. They go more out in these country small towns, the same towns that Donald Trump hit when he won the election. And then the militaries, they give you a sense of family, a sense of belonging. There's camaraderie there. And that's why military guys go after young kids. You don't see military. There's an age limit. I think you can't be over like 31, 32, and then you can no longer enlist in the military, because they know you're not going to do any bunch of crazy shit. You're not going to fall for the whole team mentality. And if there's a grenade and it's dropped, you got to jump on it to save your brothers. Or I'm going to take a bullet for this guy that I barely know. They know once you're over there, you probably ain't going to do that. But an 18, 19-year-old will do it. Like, I'm a hero. I'm going to be a hero. You're also going to be dead if you do that. But I was caught up in it, and I don't regret it at all. Don't get it twisted. But it is a culture that they they provide that gives you that, I didn't have that close-knit family growing up, but my military guys were my guys. When I was in boot camp, those were my guys. And when I got stationed in D.C. in the honor guard, those were my dudes. Those are the dudes I hung out with on the weekend. I didn't have a lot of friends outside of the military. And when I was in the military, unless I went to high school with you and you kind of grow apart, because most of the guys I went to high school with was either going in the workforce or going to college. And then your military buddies are your day-to-days. Like you work with them and you go out with them at night and everything. So I was listening to Takashi 6ix9ine interview, and I go, I think if he can make it, and that's a damn shame, because in the hip hop culture, we've seen what happened to Biggie and Tupac and numerous others. If he can make it to 25, I think he'll figure it out. And I don't know what his future holds, but he's smart and hopefully has a good team around him. But I went in the Breakfast Club and I dressed up just like Takashi 6ix9ine, makeup, tattoos, and I didn't know how people were gonna take it. I didn't know what the response is gonna be. And then I started talking shit about other comics as Takashi, so it wasn't really me. And I was very strategic in who I talked about. I talked about who I thought would react. They brought up names, but then, I commented on them. But the reaction has been nothing short of amazing, as far as personally for me on social media. Now, I don't know about getting movie roles and TV roles or anything else, but social media wise, as far as YouTube and my Instagram and Twitter and Facebook, it's gone through the roof. And I pumped the podcast. I pumped this podcast when I went on the Breakfast Club. And Charlamagne looked shocked. You really got a podcast? Yeah, man. I really got a podcast. And now I got new fans that are listening to me on this platform. So, and I said on the interview, man, when things aren't going where you want them to go, like I'll tell you, I'm on a little drought right now as far as acting goes. I'm doing auditions and I'm delivering on the auditions too. I know that sounds conceited, but where I'm at in my career, I'm not going to take a small part, like a one-liner in a movie. I can get offered that all day. I'm looking to be the lead or the sidekick to a lead. Like I auditioned for Mark Wahlberg's new movie, and I would have been his best friend, but I wouldn't just go in and be a waiter in that movie. I'd rather do stand up and do my podcast and be on the road and stuff like that. I make more money. I build more fans that way. Me doing a one-liner in a movie isn't going to do much unless it's a movie like Daddy Daycare where my part stuck out, or Ride Along where, I take off my clothes and pour honey on me. Yeah, hell yeah, I'm going to do that. But as far as like the little roles that I get offered every now and then, I just pass on them most of the time. But, it's going to come. I have no doubt. I'm big into positive thinking and believing in yourself. And when you're at a little lull like this, when I say lull, I just mean an acting lull for me, because I'm still doing stand-up and selling out shows and doing great. I would say when you get a chance, like a platform like the Breakfast Club, which I knew would be huge on YouTube and social media and all the blogs, if I did something that stuck out, that's why I was like, I'm going to dress up like this Takashi 6ix9ine dude. And I'm going to go in like him and I'm going to act like him. To me, it was nothing more than basically a hip hop Saturday Night Live sketch that I did that lasted for 30 minutes. If you watch SNL, they take pop culture, they take the whatever hot in politics, and they get somebody to imitate them and they write funny sketches. All I did was freestyle 30 minutes with the Breakfast Club because they didn't know I was coming in like that. And a lot of people had thought the Breakfast Club set that up. They didn't. They didn't know I was coming in like that. I just showed up. By the time I got to the Breakfast Club, I was coasting because I had to leave my hotel and get out of cars, in and out of cars as Takashi 6ix9ine with tattoos all over my face and this wig on. And by the time I got to the Breakfast Club, that was easy pickings for me because I was like, the shock for me was already over. I already saw people looking at me. And the crazy part is I had to wash all those tattoos off. That kid's got to live with those tattoos. I was getting crazy looks. I can't imagine what he gets all day, every day. Although I did go into Starbucks and one lady didn't recognize me. She goes, damn, your tattoos are cool as hell. I was like, what? She was like, oh, geek. She goes, oh, snap, you the dude. She didn't know my name. She just knew I was a comedian. But when she first saw my tats, because I got the wig off first. I was able to get the wig off. That was glue and bobby pins. That was hard enough. Then I got in the shower and I was able to wash off most of the tattoos, but the spider web stayed for about 5 days. And then the 69 was hard to get off because that was deep marker. So I had the spider webs and the 69 for a day. There's a big 69 on my forehead. So I go into Starbucks and the girl's like, yo, those tats are cool as hell. I got some cool looks with them spiderweb tattoos. I almost kept them for a hot second. I was like, I might want to keep these. And then I thought better of it. There was a lot of people that thought I really had those spiderweb tattoos. And every time I'm in movies and TV shows, they're just put makeup on over them. But I used that opportunity to my advantage more than I ever have on any other like talk show platform. And a lot of people would be like, oh, he trolling. He's using 69's clout chaser. I go, duh. Why would I not imitate a dude that's hot right now that just went on 3 days before me? And he basically took the internet over for a few days. I was like, I'm shocked nobody else thought of it. That's all I was praying for. I was like, I just hope nobody comes in Monday dressed as him, because I came in Tuesday dressed as him. And when I saw nobody did, I said, game on, game on. Honestly, what is a clout chaser? I be hearing all these new words now, clout chaser. I'm a comedian. I'm no rapper. I'm not trying to use Takashi 69's clout to help my rap career. Nah, I just want to do a funny sketch. No different than Saturday Night Live, In Living Color, The Chappelle Show. When he went on his Lil Jon, that's basically what I did. He did Lil Jon, and it took off, and people loved him for Lil Jon. I guarantee you, for the next 6 months, at least every city I go to, I'm going to get a Takashi 69 reference from somebody in that city. Whether it be somebody at my show, whether I be out to eat, whether I'm at the airport. Every time I got stopped since I've done an interview, it's been nothing else but Takashi 69 shit and the Breakfast Club interview. I haven't got stopped one time for Think Like a Man, Daddy Daycare, Ride Along, the Gary Owen Show, none of my comedy specials. No. The only thing people have asked me in the last week is something about the interview and Takashi 69. That's it. That's all I've been asked about. And that lets me know, even if you didn't watch it on YouTube, even if you didn't hear it live, even if you haven't commented on Instagram, you've seen it somehow. Somehow you've seen it. That dude is going to be the biggest Halloween costume this Halloween amongst hip hop people. So many people are going to be Takashi 69 for Halloween this year. Watch. And I'm going to be included. Like I was calling my wife and my manager like, yo, it feels so good to come up with a concept and deliver it when you didn't need anybody else's approval or help. So I'm just saying, for those people that make these dumbass comments, clout chaser, you trolling 69, or you couldn't do an interview with your own name, so you had to use his name to get views. Duh. When I say to them, duh. I saw something that was hitting on the internet, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to imitate it. No different than SNL, no different than Chappelle, no different than In Living Color. I just made it my own sketch. And thank God the Breakfast Club picked up on it immediately, because they start going with it. And then every now and then, if you watch the interview, you'll see me drop nuggets on the industry too. Like I'll drop some behind the scenes stuff about why I haven't got a Netflix special or Comedy Central special or HBO special and different things of that nature. But it felt so good to come up with a concept and deliver it and have my team come through for me. Like my manager was on board and my agency and publicity firm found a makeup lady and they got me on the break. It was great. It was great. And from what I heard, my podcast numbers went through the roof. Just a good feeling, man. And then I made fun of a couple comics. I called Faison love, Faison hate. I said, Michael Blackson isn't funny. He's a one-trick pony. He's got mudda sucker. That's it. I said, Chris Rock is the only person that can put Kevin Hart in a movie and not make money because he did the Top 5 movie. How the fuck you put Kevin Hart in a movie and it tanks? I didn't think that was possible. That's kind of like having LeBron on your YMCA team and you guys lose. How did you fucking lose? That's basically the equivalent of what Chris Rock did in Top 5. But Michael Blackson came at me, and I knew he would. As soon as they said Michael Blackson, I said, he ain't funny. I was just waiting. And Michael Blackson came at me, and I came back, And then we start texting each other. We were laughing the whole time because I don't take none of this shit serious. And I don't think neither does Mike. I don't know about him and the Kevin situation, but between me and him and 9% of their comics, he tries to roast. So me and him just went back and forth like for 2-3 days on Instagram talking about each other, and neither of us are funny and we ain't shit and blah, blah, blah. But it was so funny how people get so passionate and thinking we're serious, and we're not. They don't even know we're texting each other. Like, I'm texting him some of the shit to say about me, and he's texting me shit I should say about him. I was like, these dumbass fans. And I texted Mike, not dumbass fans. We love our fans. These dumbass internet people that think they're so intellectual and so woke. That's what the word is now. I'm woke. Motherfuckers, you asleep, you dumbasses. If you take his shit on social media serious and you think me and Mike is serious. Because when I texted him, he goes, yo, when we do this, don't mind the haters or the internet trolls that come out. They go, I said, Mike, I've been doing this a long time. I don't pay no attention to people saying negative shit on the internet because 90% of those people were never going to come see me anyways, or they've never seen me live. I go, so I ain't worried about them. The people I'm trying to reach are the people laughing at the sketches, or 90% of the people that are watching it but ain't making no comments. They just watching it for the enjoyment of it. Because that's me. I don't comment on 99% of stuff I watch on the internet. 99%. Every now and then I'll do a like, or I'll make a comment that was funny, or I'll do an emoji. For the most part, I don't comment a lot. And I love when somebody says something negative about me and I respond and it gets a rise out of them. They think, oh, I got him. I'm under his skin. And then they make 10 more posts about me. I'm like, thank you, you dumbass. I made one comment. Now you made 10. Now I've taken over your Twitter page. You ain't even realize it, you dumbass. Your last 30 posts were about me. Don't even realize what they're doing. Thanks for the free press. Just because I said, really? One guy made a comment and I just went, really? And it was like 4 more posts in a row about me. I go, thank you, bro. Thank you. Appreciate that. So that's what's fun. The same people would be like, I'm you clout chaser. I'm trolling. Da-da-da-da-da. Same people that love Chappelle doing Lil Jon. It's the same shit. Only difference is Chappelle's shit was on Comedy Central. My shit was on YouTube in the Breakfast Club. But it's still, when you're on your phones, you don't know the difference. Whether you on watching Chappelle on YouTube or the Breakfast Club on YouTube, you're still watching it. And that's what I said when people try to make negative comments. I said, but you watched it and felt the need to comment. I was like, still winning, takes no L's. That's my line now. Still winning, takes no L's. As soon as you comment, that's a win, you dumbass. So, okay, that's enough about Takashi. That rant was almost as long as my interview, honestly. It's my podcast. I can talk about what I want. I watched the NCAA finals. Deep down in my soul, I think most people knew Villanova was the best team this year, by far. We kept trying to think. When it got down to Villanova, Michigan, I was like, Villanova is going to destroy Michigan. And people were like, nah, it's team of destiny. And the way they came out, I'm like, dude, if we really are being honest, they were the best team all year. From October to now, they were, of course, they lost a couple times. I saw them play Xavier twice, and they just dominated Xavier. And I thought Xavier had a great team. And I was like, dude, they're deep, they're good. And Jay Wright's built a dynasty there. And I hate all this talk now about Jay Wright might go to the Sixers. He better not, man. That Sixers head coach has built that team. They suck, and now they got draft picks, and he's working it. And they got Embiid and Simmons and JJ Redick. They got a nice young cast, and Fultz just got back. That dude went through all the downtime, and now the team's good and looks like they're going to be good for years to come. And now these rumors are coming that Jay Wright might be the coach. I hope not. I hope Jay Wright doesn't do that. I want him to stay at Villanova. Build a dynasty, man. I mean, you're on your way to becoming like a Duke in North Carolina. Villanova is. I mean, it makes me feel old, though, watching Brunson play, and I watch his dad play. How old am I? And when you hear Brunson talk, you could tell he's going to be successful at life. I saw his interviews, and I'm just impressed by how he carried himself and everything else. And what's funny is, as impressed as I am with him, DeCencio, he had to delete his Twitter account. He didn't have crazy. He just had shit, young teenagers. And he said something like, I got my ass licked and it changed my life. Like there's literally a girl out there right now going, that was me. That tweet was about me. Toss that motherfucker salad. So he took down his Twitter after he won the national title, finals MVP. Then people start searching everything you said. But congrats to Villanova. I think they were the best team all year. Wasn't even close. There was no game that was under 10 points for them in the NCAA tournament. That's crazy right there. That they just basically dominate the whole tournament. So Loyola was getting all the hype, but really Villanova was just steamrolling through the tournament. Other big news, though, a lot of NFL trades are happening before the drafts, man. I don't know when the schedule comes out in a couple weeks. I can't wait for that. That's like a national holiday for me. As soon as the schedule comes out, I call my agent. We get the bingo schedule, and then we go over my dates. Like, how can I work this week and this week and this week so I can make these bingo games? Philly always got to wonder about the Super Bowl hangover. That's what you always wonder about those teams that win it, man. So everybody's like, Philly's the favorite, and now the Rams are up there. I always say unless you got a Tom Brady, if your team was won it on defense and everything else, I always say I don't think the Super Bowl winning team should ever be the favorite the next year because it's going to be that hangover of chasing the chip. And then when you get it, you're like, I think you got it's hard to get up again like that once you win it. So I would say right now, I would say the Rams are the favorite by the moves they made. And their coaching's solid. And who doesn't want to go to L.A. to play? If you ask me right now, preseason, definitely the Rams. And I don't know I'm just wondering what New England's got up their sleeves. They got rid of Amendola. They got rid of Brandon Cooks. So they basically got Edelman coming back. That's about it. They don't have much else. But, Gronk, you never know with him how much he's got left in the tank. So it's going to be interesting next year in the AFC. I think it's going to be a lot more wide open. I think the NFC, man, the NFC West is going to be the funnest division to watch because the 49ers ended so strong with Garoppolo and they made some good moves. And then the Seahawks, I think, are always going to be solid as long as they got Coach Carroll and Russell Wilson. They're always going to be okay. They're never just going to suck. And then the Cardinals, I don't know. They still got some ballers, but it's going to be fun to watch those four teams. But I think the Rams have done the most. Philly's probably going to be the favorite. Yeah, it's going to be interesting. People forget that Atlanta's still good. I think Atlanta, when they lost Shanahan, I think that was the biggest loss for them. I think it's going to be hard for them to remake their magic from a couple years ago without him. I just can't wait. Can't wait for the season to start. The Bengals got a left tackle. So we'll see. I think Joe Mixon's going to just come out the gates balling. And with the Bengals, the biggest move they made wasn't even the players they got. It was the coaches. They got Van Pelt from Green Bay, who Aaron Rodgers loves and is not happy that he left. And then they got the offensive line coach from Dallas. So they made some good changes outside of Marvin Lewis in coaching. But you know me, I'm drinking the Kool-Aid. And I guarantee you, whoever the Bengals pick in the draft in a couple weeks, I'm like, that's the dude. That's the dude. I'll be watching tape on him like, you ain't going to see him coming. Get ready. He should have been the number one pick. Oh, RG3 got signed too. RG3 got signed by the Ravens, which rumor is Manziel. New England's taking a hard look at him to be the backup or third string, but that leaves Kaepernick out there. And so I was watching a sports talk radio show and they brought up a good point about Kaepernick. They go, a big problem with Kaepernick is he basically sued the NFL. He sued the owners. So he kind of put the line in the sand right there. So if you sign Kaepernick, you got to bring him in and have a long discussion about what you expect and what he will do for you, and without rocking the boat. Because in the end, it's about wins and losses. It's not about your activism as far as football goes. And the bigger one than Kaepernick to me not getting signed yet is Reed. I mean, Reed from San Francisco is a beast and is still a beast. And because he took a knee and was protesting with Kaepernick, he's not getting signed. And I'm a Cincinnati guy, and I'm like, bring that mug to Cincinnati. We need a safety. Good Lord. Bring him. I mean, all that stuff, like, you're going to lose fans. No, we ain't. Everybody said that shit last year when the Bengals drafted Joe Mixon. And everybody's like, we're going to lose. Ain't nobody talking about that no more. I said, as soon as he scores a touchdown, it all goes away. All of it goes away. So the same thing with Eric Reed. Nobody gives a shit. If he's balling on the field, that's all that matters. You got a few people that'll make all the noise. It's kind of like Twitter and Instagram. You got a few people that are chirping, and everybody thinks that's the majority. It's not. Most people don't give a shit. We just want to see you play football. I could care less. I ain't gonna lie. I could care less if you stand, kneel for the national anthem. I don't interrupt the national anthem, but I don't care. Marshawn Lynch said all year. Nobody makes a big deal because it's Marshawn. But Kaepernick and Reed, it's like, it's a big deal. I would love the Bengals to get Reed. I would eat that shit up. Now, I don't want to end on a sour note. Not even sour, but I made a post before all this Takashi 6ix9ine stuff went down and everything. I made a post about the Alton Sterling case. They showed the body cam of the cop that killed Alton Sterling. Now a lot of people are getting the cases confused because we had the Stephon Clark shooting in Sacramento. And I always refrain from commenting on police shootings and saying who was right and who was wrong until I get all the facts. Honestly, until the body cams come out. That's really, really only when we can make educated assumptions. Because right now, and I talked about it last week on my podcast, it's just so soon and the emotions are so raw. As soon as I say, I don't want to just rush a judgment on the cops so fast, people get so emotional like, oh, you're with police shootings. No, that's not it. I just don't want to rush the judgment. I want to have everything laid out before I say anything. With that being said, Alton Sterling, he was the guy in Baton Rouge that got shot and killed in front of the convenience store. And a convenience store that he was always hanging out at, selling bootleg CDs, DVDs, stuff like that. The convenience store owner knew him. The cops came up because somebody made a phone call saying a guy had a gun in front of the convenience store. And therein lies a big root of what's nobody's really talking about. You got these people make an anonymous phone call saying they see a gun, just like Tamir Rice in Cleveland, just like Alton Sterling in Louisiana. There was a case in Mesa, Arizona, that a lot of people didn't get a lot of press on. And that one disturbed me as much as Alton Sterling. I'm going to get back to that in a minute. But the Alton Sterling case, the officer's name is Blaine Salamoni. S-A-L-A-M-O-N-I. Salamoni. The way he talked to Alton Sterling when he got on the scene was so disrespectful and so confrontational. And so he wanted to shoot somebody. He wanted to be in control. He reminded me of those hot-headed guys in high school that probably got their ass kicked once or twice, and now they got a gun and a badge. They're like, ain't nobody kicking my ass anymore. I'm running shit. He was out of control when he got on the scene. I'm an ex-cop. Our jobs are to diffuse situations, not inflame them. If there's a suspect that we think is on the brink of something or might be violent, we're trying to calm him down and calm the situation down. When you show up on a scene like this Blaine guy did and put your gun to the temple of this guy's head and was like, I'll fucking shoot you. I'll fucking kill you. You got to realize you're a little discombobulated as a citizen that might have never had a gun to your head. And we're supposed to be in control and follow commands, and you're out of control. So we're not taking any of that into account. But the way he treated Alton Sterling, and you kept seeing Alton going, what's going on, man? You hurt my arm. Da-da-da. Nothing about his demeanor was threatening. Nothing about it was, he was never moving into a position to attack. He just wondered what was going on. He wasn't in good shape, probably wasn't flexible. You're tossing him around. He's hurt. And all of a sudden you hear gun, 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 and then you shoot him. And then after you shoot him, you stand over his body and you yell, stupid motherfucker. You stupid motherfucker. It made me sick to my stomach. And I remember Alton Sterling's son was on TV, and the way his son reacted, I said, I'm into DNA and how people react to situations. I said, his son was so mild-mannered and just said, I miss my daddy. That's all he kept saying. I was like, I just have a hard time believing his dad was some crazy, out-of-control thug trying to confront police. And everybody said he had an unarmed, he had a gun on him. He's unlicensed to carry a gun. And I'm like, well, what the rumor was he had got robbed the week before, or he had the gun for protection. Listen, it's a different set of rules and not laws for people from lower income neighborhoods. They don't They're not going to go get a gun license. Most of them aren't going to get driver's license if it gets suspended. They don't have the means to get to these places. So they make do. They make do. And I hate how some of the media portrays certain situations and they're doing it to inflame people's emotions. Just like Stephon Clark. He got shot in his grandmother's backyard. When I heard that, I was like, okay, what really happened? Because they made it sound like he was standing in his grandmother's backyard and a bunch of cops came in and just shot him for no reason. And I'm like, there's got to be more to the story. What is the story? Don't just say that. You're creating a divide immediately. And this Alton Sterling case, that guy is a murderer straight up. Once I saw the body cam, Blaine Salamone, and he got fired. And cops always got this. They have an out. All they have to say is, I fear for my life. I really thought my life was in danger. It's the ultimate out when it comes to these police shootings. Now, this Mesa, Arizona case was more disturbing than just about anyone I've seen on camera. If you get a chance, look up Philip Brailsford. Look up Philip, in quotation marks, Mitch Brailsford. Brailsford. He is found not guilty, second-degree murder, after he shot and killed an unarmed man at a Mesa hotel room January 2016. This cop killed this guy, Daniel Shear, after, again, a phone call was made saying somebody saw a guy with a gun in his hotel room, waving a gun around. So the cops come, weapons drawn. The guy doesn't have a gun. He had a pellet gun for his job. He was like he was there working. He wasn't from Arizona. He was working. He was staying in La Quinta, and he had some people in his room, and he was showing them a pellet gun he uses for his job. So here it is. 2 guests that were in the pool area reported seeing a male subject pointing a rifle out the window of a room several floors above the pool. It was a pellet gun. He wasn't pointing at people. He was showing it to the people in his room. I guess he had a couple people in the room and they were having drinks and whatnot. And if you see this video, it's so fucking disturbing because it's a guy and girl. They're laid out on the carpet. And this cop, this Mesa, Arizona cop, he keeps telling them what to do, right? And he keeps warning them, if you don't do what I tell you to do exactly, I might shoot you. You will not survive this. And he keeps warning them. And you could tell this guy is scared shitless. Like, I felt for him. And he's doing everything the cop tells him to do. He puts his hands up. He's telling him, please don't shoot me. I don't want to die. Daniel Shaver, I'm sorry. Daniel Shaver was the guy that got killed. He's a white guy. Gets killed by this cop, Mitch Brailsford, January 2016, because somebody made a phone call saying they saw a guy with a rifle and he was pointing it at people in the hotel out of his window. It's not what he was doing. He was in his hotel room. Somebody saw what they thought was a gun in his room. They called the cops. It's a pellet gun. He was showing it to people because it was part of his job. Now the cops come, guns out. So you got these people that are inebriated. Not that they're drunk and out of control, but they had a few drinks in his room. So the girl's freaking out. So the girl does everything the cop says, and they end up grabbing her by her arm and pulling her out, right? Pulling her out. They're both in the hallway of this hotel. Then the cop keeps telling Daniel Shaver, do exactly what I say. If you don't, I'm going to take that as a threat and I'll be forced to shoot you. You probably won't survive this. He says it so many times. And the guy is basically pleading for his life. Like, please don't shoot me. I don't have a gun. There's nobody else in the room. And at one point, he's a little confused by the cop's commands. And if you got a fucking AR-15 point at your head and the cops show up and you don't know why they showed up, you're so confused, you're going to be a little nervous. And you're trying to do these commands like they're saying, but you just don't know how you're going to react. And the cop tells him, lay flat on the ground, put your hands flat in front of you. He does that. He says, now crawl towards me. And at one point he goes, I said crawl towards me. Don't move your hands. The guy's like, I don't want to. I guess he reached down to pull up his shorts because his basketball shorts were falling down. And they just blasted him and killed him. And I was like, it's so disturbing to watch. And because it was a white guy killed by a white cop, it didn't get the press that I felt it should have. After I saw it, I was so disturbed by it. Take the black and white out of it. It's just these cops, man. So there's a lot of good cops. I understand they're coming up on a scene like that. But this Alton Sterling case and this Daniel Shaver case, both of them, when I saw the cop's body cam, I go, there was no threat. There was nothing either of those guys were doing that said, hey, mind-boggling. And then both cases, the cops said, we fear for our life. We thought our life was in danger. No way in hell you thought your life was in danger. There's no fucking way either of those cases they thought their life was in danger. And the bigger picture, not the bigger picture, but the big thing is people are making phone calls saying they're seeing people with guns that don't have guns. Like Tamir Rice. Alton Sterling had a gun in his pocket. He wasn't waving around trying to threaten people and kill people. No, he's outside selling CDs and DVDs like he always is. And now you got this guy in Mesa, Arizona. The guy, can you imagine? You're just having a party, not party, but friends, relaxing, blah, blah, blah. All of a sudden cops come, guns out, making you give commands. And you're like, what is going on? I mean, your shorts start to fall down. So it's a natural reaction. You reach down and pull your shorts up because you don't want to fall down. When I say he was flat out on the ground, face down, he was on the ground in the hallway, face down, hands in front of him. One hand comes back to pull up his shorts and the cops blasted him. Come on, man. Come on. That guy did everything you told him to do up to that point. And it didn't get the press because it was a white guy killed by a white cop. But it doesn't make it any less disturbing. I mean, there just has to be a change in how these cops are taught to show up in some of these situations. And not even a change. Man, you got to use common sense sometimes, too. I understand cops have a dangerous job, but they always have the out. The out is, I fear for my life. You know? Just awful to see. All right. Well, I don't want to end it on a bad note, but it just, both those cases, I was just like, man, those cops was out of control. Anyways, great week. I'll see you guys next week. This is Gary Owen with the Get Some Podcast.